The champagne had been a mistake, but the text Sienna sent while drunk was about to destroy her life. She'd gushed about a gorgeous stranger to what she thought was her best friend's number, only the message didn't go to her friend. It went to Kang Ji-hun, the most dangerous man in Koreatown, and his response made her blood run cold. "I need to see you tomorrow morning. This isn't a request." Welcome to Afro K-drama. Like, share, and subscribe for more. The champagne had been a mistake. The third glass definitely had been a mistake. But the worst mistake Sienna Hayes made that Friday night was pulling up her contacts while tipsy and texting about the impossibly attractive man she'd seen at the hospital fundraiser earlier that week. Her fingers flew across the screen as she giggled to herself, sprawled across her bed in her scrubs after a grueling double shift at the clinic. She'd been telling her coworker about him all week. The tall Korean man in the designer suit who'd walked through the hospital corridor like he owned the place, visiting someone in the VIP wing. Dark hair swept back, sharp jawline, eyes that could cut through steel. She typed quickly, not bothering to check the recipient. "Girl, you should have seen him. Tall, gorgeous, looked like he stepped out of a magazine. Had me forgetting my own name. Would have diagnosed myself with heart palpitations if he'd looked at me twice." Sienna hit send and reached for her glass again. Her phone buzzed immediately. "I think you have the wrong number." Her stomach dropped. The wine glass froze halfway to her lips. No. She scrambled to check the contact name. Kang emergency only. The businessman from 6 months ago. The one who'd collapsed outside her clinic in Koreatown from what turned out to be severe dehydration and overwork. She'd helped stabilize him, insisted he go to the hospital, stayed with him until the ambulance came. He'd given her his card afterward, told her to call if she ever needed anything, and she'd saved it under emergency contact because that's what it was for. She hadn't meant to text him. Ever. Her hands shook as another message appeared. "Is this Miss Hayes?" Oh God. He remembered her name. "I am so sorry. Wrong person. Please delete that. Pretend you never saw it." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. "I need to see you. Tomorrow morning. I'll send a driver at 9. What? No. That's really not necessary. This isn't a request. Sienna stared at her phone, her buzz evaporating into cold dread. She tried calling. The line didn't even ring, just went to an automated message in Korean. She sent another text asking why they needed to meet. No response. She didn't sleep that night. At 8:55 the next morning, Sienna stood by her apartment window in jeans and a sweater, watching a black sedan pull up to her building. Professional driver. Tinted windows. This was insane. But something in those clipped texts told her that not showing up would be worse. The driver, a middle-aged Korean man with an unreadable expression, opened the back door without a word. Sienna climbed in, her heart hammering against her ribs. They drove through Koreatown, past her clinic, into an area where the buildings grew taller and more expensive. The car pulled into an underground garage of a sleek high-rise. Sienna followed the driver to a private elevator that required a keycard. When the doors opened on the top floor, she stepped into a penthouse that looked like something from an architecture magazine. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Los Angeles. Minimalist furniture. Everything precise and intentional. And standing by those windows was him. Kang Ji-hun. He turned when he heard the elevator, and Sienna's breath caught the same way it had 6 months ago. Tall, easily over 6 feet, wearing black slacks and a crisp white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. His dark eyes locked onto hers with an intensity that made her skin warm. "Miss Hayes." His voice was deep, slightly accented. "Thank you for coming. Did I have a choice?" The words came out sharper than she intended. A slight smile crossed his face. "No, but I appreciate your cooperation." He gestured to a leather sofa. Sienna sat, gripping her bag like a lifeline. He took the chair across from her, leaning back with the casual confidence of someone who controlled every room he entered. "I suppose you're wondering why I asked you here. The text was an accident." "I apologized." "I know. But that text was sent to my business line. The number I gave you 6 months ago isn't personal. It's monitored by my security team. Sienna felt her face flush with embarrassment. Oh, 3 of my people saw your message before I could address it. Jihoon's expression remained neutral, but his eyes watched her carefully. In my position, that creates complications. Your position? I run certain operations in Los Angeles. Import businesses, real estate holdings, other ventures. He paused. My work requires discretion. Privacy. When my security team sees a message like that from an unknown woman, they make assumptions. What kind of assumptions? That you're someone important to me. Someone close. But I'm not. Just tell them it was a mistake. I did. Jihoon leaned forward slightly. They don't believe me. They think I'm protecting your identity. And now word is spreading through my organization that I have a woman in my life. A black woman, which is unusual enough in my circles to be memorable. Sienna's pulse quickened. What does that mean? It means within a few days, people who oppose my business interests will learn about you. They'll find out where you work, where you live. And they'll see you as leverage. The room seemed to tilt. You're saying I'm in danger because of a text message? I'm saying you're in danger because of who I am. Jihoon's gaze didn't waver. Which is why I'm offering you protection. What kind of protection? Move into this building. A secure apartment, your own space. Let me assign security to you. And publicly, for the next 2 months, we pretend to be in a relationship. Sienna stood up abruptly. You're insane. I'm practical. If my associates and my competitors believe you matter to me, no one will touch you. You'll be under my protection. But if they think you're just some random person who sent a wrong text, you become a loose end. This is ridiculous. I'm a nurse. I help people. I don't belong in whatever world you're talking about. You already witnessed my world 6 months ago. Jihoon stood as well, moving closer. I wasn't dehydrated that day, Miss Hayes. I was poisoned. Someone tried to kill me, and you saved my life by getting me to the hospital in time. I've owed you a debt ever since. This is me repaying it. Sienna's mind reeled. Poisoned? Who are you? Someone who keeps his promises. Someone who protects what's his. He stopped a few feet away from her. 2 months. Attend some events with me. Let people see us together. I'll compensate you well. $50,000. The number made her dizzy. That was more than she made in a year at the clinic. Why would you do this for me? Because 6 months ago you stayed with a stranger when you didn't have to. You made sure I was safe. That kind of decency is rare. He held her gaze. And because if something happens to you because of my carelessness in giving you that number, I won't forgive myself. Sienna wanted to run. Every logical part of her brain screamed to leave. But she thought about her apartment with its flimsy lock. The dark walk to her car after late shifts. The very real possibility that dangerous people might actually come looking for her. If I agree, she said slowly, I need rules. Name them. I keep my job. I don't lie to my patients. Agreed. I can walk away if this gets too dangerous or too complicated. Jihoon hesitated. You can leave. But the protection ends when you do. Sienna took a shaky breath. And nothing physical. We can hold hands for appearances, but that's it. Something flickered in his eyes. Public affection will sometimes be necessary. But I won't push beyond what you're comfortable with. She should say no. Every instinct told her to refuse. But standing in this penthouse with this dangerous, intense man who just offered to keep her alive, Sienna realized she was out of options. 2 months, she said. 2 months, he agreed, extending his hand. When she shook it, his grip was warm and firm, and she wondered what she'd just agreed to. The next week passed in a blur. Jihoon's people moved Sienna's belongings into a furnished apartment 4 floors below the penthouse. 2 bedrooms, a kitchen she'd only dreamed of, and a security system that required fingerprint access. A woman named Mrs. Choi arrived on the 3rd day carrying garment bags. Mr. Kang has social obligations. You'll need appropriate attire. I have clothes, Sienna protested. Mrs. Choi smiled kindly. You have lovely clothes for your life. But Mr. Kang's world requires something different. She hung a midnight blue dress in the closet. This is for tomorrow night. Art gallery opening. Your first public appearance. Sienna's stomach nodded. Tomorrow? The sooner people see you together, the faster you're protected. That evening, Ji-hun knocked on her door. He looked different in casual clothes, dark jeans, and a gray Henley, but no less intimidating. May I come in? Sienna stepped aside. He walked to her windows, hands in his pockets, before turning to face her. Tomorrow night will be straightforward. Gallery opening, art collectors, business associates. We stay an hour, then leave. What if someone asks about us? I'll handle most conversations. If someone asks you directly, just say we met months ago and reconnected recently. Sienna nodded, trying to calm her racing heart. I'll need to touch you tomorrow, Ji-hun continued. Your hand, your back, your waist. It needs to look natural. Like I'm comfortable with you. Okay. If I do anything that makes you uncomfortable, tell me immediately. He stepped closer. I need you to trust me, Miss Hayes. Sienna, she said quietly. If we're doing this, you should call me Sienna. His expression softened slightly. Sienna. And you should call me Ji-hun. The next evening, Sienna stood in front of her mirror in the midnight blue dress, her natural curls styled into an elegant updo. The dress fit perfectly, hugging her curves in a way that made her feel both beautiful and exposed. When Ji-hun knocked, she opened the door to find him in a tailored black suit, his hair styled immaculately. His eyes widened slightly when he saw her. You look beautiful. Thank you. Sienna felt heat rise in her cheeks. You clean up well yourself. He offered his arm. Ready? Not even a little bit. The gallery was packed with Los Angeles elite. The moment they walked in together, Sienna felt every eye turn toward them. Ji-hun's hand settled on the small of her back, warm through the fabric of her dress. Ji-hun. A woman's voice called out in Korean. Rapid conversation followed before she switched to English, looking directly at Sienna. I didn't know you were seeing anyone. We've been keeping it quiet, Ji-hun said smoothly. Sienna prefers privacy. I'm sure she does, the woman replied with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. The evening continued with similar interactions. Curious stares, thinly veiled questions, and Ji-hun's constant presence beside her, a wall of protection. Then Sienna felt him tense. His hand tightened on her waist almost imperceptibly. He's here, Ji-hun murmured. A Korean man in his 40s approached them, expensive suit, calculating eyes. When he smiled, it didn't reach his eyes. Ji-hun. What a surprise. And with such interesting company. Sienna, this is Choi Dae-sung. A business associate. Ji-hun's voice had gone cold. Dae-sung, this is Sienna Hayes. Charmed. Dae-sung's gaze raked over her. Tell me, Miss Hayes, how does a nurse catch the attention of our Ji-hun? He's usually so selective. We met through work, Sienna said, keeping her voice steady. Sometimes the right person appears when you least expect it. How poetic. Dae-sung's smile sharpened. You should be careful, Miss Hayes. Ji-hun's world can be dangerous for the unprepared. Beautiful things often break. Ji-hun's entire body went rigid. That sounds like a threat. An observation. Dae-sung stepped closer. Accidents happen, especially to people who don't understand what they're involved in. We're leaving. Ji-hun guided Sienna away, his jaw tight. In the car afterward, Sienna couldn't stop shaking. He threatened me. I know. Ji-hun's knuckles were white against his thighs. He's testing boundaries. And you're just okay with that? No. But confronting him publicly would have escalated things. He stared out the window. He won't actually touch you. Everyone at that gallery saw us together. If something happens to you now, everyone knows who's responsible. That's supposed to comfort me? It should. Ji-hun finally looked at her, his expression intense. You're safe because you're public. Because you're mine in their eyes. That's the entire point of this. Sienna leaned back against the seat, emotionally exhausted. 2 months suddenly felt like an eternity. You did well tonight, Ji-hun said quietly. Better than I expected. Is that a compliment? The highest I give. Despite everything, Sienna almost smiled. Over the next few weeks, they fell into a rhythm. Morning coffee before Jihoon left for meetings. Him texting throughout the day to check on her. Evening dinners where they talked about everything except his actual business. Sienna learned he'd immigrated from Seoul at 15. That he'd built his father's failing import company into an empire. That he read constantly and had a weakness for terrible action movies. He learned she'd put herself through nursing school. That she'd chosen community medicine because she wanted to help people who couldn't afford fancy hospitals. That she missed her family in Oakland but loved the independence of LA. They were becoming friends, which made everything more complicated. One night after a charity dinner, Jihoon walked her back to her apartment. They stood at her door, neither moving to leave. "Can I ask you something?" Sienna said. "You can ask. I may not answer. Why don't you have someone real in your life?" Jihoon was quiet for a long moment. "Because everyone in my world wants something from me. Power, connections, money. No one just sees me. I see you." He looked at her with surprise. "Do you?" "Yeah." Sienna stepped closer. "I see someone who keeps his word. Who protects people even when it costs him. Who's carrying a lot of weight alone." Something shifted in Jihoon's expression, his carefully maintained control cracking slightly. "Sienna." He reached out, his fingers brushing her cheek. The touch was feather-light, not for show because no one was watching. "I should go," he said, but his hand lingered. "Yeah." Sienna's voice came out breathless. "You should." Neither moved. The air between them felt charged, electric. Jihoon leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. His lips met hers, soft at first, questioning. When she responded, the kiss deepened, his hand sliding into her hair. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Jihoon looked shaken. "That wasn't part of our agreement." "I know." Sienna's heart raced. "We should establish new boundaries." "We should." But when he kissed her again, she pulled him closer, and all thoughts of boundaries dissolved. The next morning, Jihoon showed up at her door looking uncharacteristically unsettled. "We need to talk." Sienna let him in, her own emotions a tangled mess. "Last night was a mistake," he said, pacing her living room. "This arrangement was supposed to be professional. 2 months, public appearances, everyone stays safe. But it's not anymore," Sienna finished quietly. "Is it?" "No." Jihoon stopped, facing her. "I'm falling for you. And that's dangerous." "Why?" "Because people I care about become targets. Because my world doesn't allow for weakness. Because," he ran his hand through his hair, the gesture almost desperate, "because I don't know how to protect you from what I'm feeling." Sienna crossed to him. "What if I'm falling for you too?" "Sienna, you can't." "I'm not safe. My life isn't safe. I know exactly who you are." She took his hands. "And I'm here anyway." "You shouldn't be. This wasn't supposed to happen." "But it did." She searched his face. "So, what do we do now?" Jihoon pulled her close, resting his forehead against hers. "I don't know. I've never felt this way about anyone. Then we figure it out together." When he kissed her this time, it felt like surrender. Like both of them giving in to something they'd been fighting for weeks. "Move in with me," he said against her lips. "Not for safety. Not for the arrangement. Because I want you close. Because I'm in love with you." "Jihoon, that's fast." "I know. But there's nothing slow about my world." His eyes held hers. "Take a chance on us." Sienna thought about all the reasons she should say no. And the one reason she should say yes. She'd never felt more alive than when she was with him. "Okay," she whispered. "Let's do this for real." 3 days later, everything shattered. Sienna was leaving the clinic when a black van pulled up. 2 men got out, both armed. "Miss Hayes. Mr. Choi would like to speak with you." Terror flooded her veins. "No." One man grabbed her arm. "This isn't optional." Gunshots split the air. The men dropped, and suddenly Jihoon was there, 3 of his security team behind him, weapons drawn. He pulled Sienna against him, his body shielding hers. "Are you hurt?" His hands ran over her, checking for injuries. No, I'm okay. But Sienna was shaking violently. In the car, Ji-hun's jaw was set with barely controlled rage. You're moving into the penthouse tonight, where I can actually protect you. I thought the arrangement was working. It was until Daesung decided to escalate. Ji-hun's voice was sharp. He just declared war. That night, Sienna packed a bag with trembling hands. When Ji-hun arrived, he pulled her into his arms. I'm sorry. His voice cracked slightly. I should have seen this coming. It's not your fault. It is. You're in danger because of me. He pulled back to look at her. I can end this. Pay you, set you up somewhere safe far from here. Let you go back to your normal life. Is that what you want? God, no. But I need to give you the choice. Sienna looked at this man who'd turned her world upside down with one accidental text. She thought about her old life, quiet and safe and lonely. And she thought about this life with him, dangerous and complicated and full of something that felt like love. I don't want safe if it means losing you. Relief flooded his expression. Are you sure? I'm sure. She pulled him close. We're in this together now. Living with Ji-hun changed everything. Morning coffee became breakfast in bed. Late nights became falling asleep in his arms. Stolen kisses became making love with an intensity that left them both breathless. But the danger remained. Ji-hun had to deal with Daesung, which meant meeting Sienna wasn't allowed to attend and phone calls he took in another room. One night, he came home with blood on his shirt. Are you hurt? Sienna immediately checked him for wounds. It's not mine. His voice was flat. Daesung attacked one of my businesses. Killed 2 of my people. I handled it. How? You don't want to know. Tell me anyway. Ji-hun looked at her for a long moment. I ended it. Permanently. Sienna should have been horrified. Instead, she just pulled him toward the bathroom. Take off the shirt. I'll start the shower. You're not afraid of what I did? I'm terrified. But I love you anyway. She met his eyes. All of you. Something in his expression cracked. How are you real? I ask myself that about you every day. 2 weeks later, Ji-hun took her to a family dinner. His uncle, his younger sister, his closest associates. They welcomed Sienna warmly, and for the first time, she felt like this might actually work. That night, back in the penthouse, Ji-hun led her to the window overlooking the city. Our arrangement was for 2 months, he said quietly. It's been 2 months. Sienna's heart clenched. I know. Which means you're free to leave. I promised you that choice. He turned to face her. I'll give you the money we agreed on. Set you up anywhere you want. Help you start over. Is that what you want? No. But I need to offer it. Really offer it. He took her hands. Or you can stay. Not as an arrangement. As my partner. The woman I love. But that means accepting my world. All of it. Sienna looked at this man who'd become everything to her. I already chose you. The night Daesung tried to take me. The first time you kissed me. Maybe even that first night when I agreed to this insane plan. She smiled. I'm not going anywhere. Relief and joy flooded his face. I love you. I love you too. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Sienna's breath caught. It's not a ring. Not yet. He opened it to reveal a delicate necklace with a small diamond pendant. But it's a promise. That you're mine and I'm yours. That we're building something real. Tears filled her eyes as he fastened it around her neck. Yes, to all of it. He kissed her then, deep and claiming, and Sienna thought about that tipsy text 6 months ago. The embarrassment. The fear. The complete upheaval of her life. And she wouldn't change a single thing. Sometimes the wrong number turns out to be exactly right.